Hello and happy
Okay.
Thursday. Coming at you live here at Insight Production Studios in Phoenix, Arizona. My name is Robert Morales from our CEO Network. Our CEO Network, good people, better business, discovering the best of you. For the next hour, we're going to be having two very special guests of mine. We're going to be talking about their life, their business, and about this marketing stuff. So if you have any questions here on the live feed, just go ahead and type them in on the comment section below, and we'll get to those questions as we go along. If you're watching us live, hit the little heart emoji because we love the loves. And if you're watching this on the replay, hit the little wow emoji because, wow, I can't believe you're not watching this live. With that said, I'm going to redirect you here. Like us here on Facebook, but also follow us on ourceonetwork.com, Instagram, LinkedIn. Head over to ourceonetwork.com about marketing and sponsorship opportunities, which is under construction currently. So we will be getting to that as we go along. So hello. So hi. I have a couple of guests today. And the nice part about doing this network stuff is meeting genuine people. And so today's show is about marketing. And really, when I started real estate, I met this one person who kind of changed my trajectory as far as my business goes. And I didn't realize it at the time because she was the first person I met through this whole process. And I will admit there was a couple people in between, but I ended up circling back to her because of her genuineness and exactly why she's here today to talk about marketing. So with that intro, I'm going to introduce her again. Let's see, I need my notes. Violet, where are my notes? So her previous career was in home and auto insurance beginning in 1999, attended ASU, majored in communications, born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, not Illinois, I've been corrected. Proud mother of two who formed the band ESTK, who have performed in Asia, Europe, Russia, Latin America, and the US, has been in title and escrow sales since 2013. She is the business development manager for Great American Title Agency. Please welcome Miss Maria Brandenburg. We lost our live studio audience a lot of it. Hold on, I gotta finish. I gotta calm the audience down. Yeah. So, Ms. Brandenburg.
Yes, Mr. Morales.
Very long intro. So I invited you here. Today we're talking about marketing, and I hope people didn't log on or aren't logged on expecting for us to be talking about conventional forms of marketing like billboards and those shopping cart signs. We're really talking about people and how do we market ourselves. And so you're in charge of that for Great American Title, correct?
Correct.
You want to tell us a little bit about what you do and who you are?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, so my title is, as you mentioned, business development. So I'm business development manager for a great title company called Great American, ironically. And a great company, been in business here in the Valley since 1998, so 22 years. And I've been with them for a couple years now. I've been in this industry for 7 years. As you mentioned, my past career, my past life was property and casualty insurance,
yeah,
which is not exactly the sexiest sounding career. But I have to say, it was pretty, I gave it a good run. I did love what I did. And this was actually a very natural segue because I started doing this back in 2013. I was recruited into it since I had that insurance background, because essentially what I do is the company that I represent is a title insurance company. So essentially, I'm luring people to our company, and I'm being transparent by saying that I'm actually developing relationships to bring them over to meet our escrow team so that when a real estate agent like yourself is doing business, they're getting to know our escrow officer in a transaction. They're getting to do some KLT with them, which is love and trust. And I do mean love. And then they will use them repeatedly. So that's the whole goal behind what I do. But it is reciprocal, and I do offer a lot of value adds to help agents. And so we it's a partnership. We work together. We feed each other business. And much like you and I work together, there are a few other agents that I work with too. And I just love what I do. It's just fun. It's a fun job.
Yeah, like I said, the most genuine part about you is that you were just honest up front and just always present. And I didn't realize that value until, I went through a couple other escrow officers. You got to leave the nest before you come back home and really understand and really appreciate what that means, especially in this business, especially in this industry. And so when it comes to marketing, I mean, you have to remain so vigilant and strong in connecting with people because you just don't know who's going to be here for the long term, who's going to be here for
True.
the short term. And so
Exactly.
the one interesting thing I wanted to bring up, I'm going to go a little screenshot for everybody here, because we do talk about real estate and I'm a realtor for the most part. I found this the other day. So about 73,500 real estate agents are licensed in Arizona. And this was in 2018. So I don't know what the current day stats are, but I'm sure they're not veering too far from this. So, as a title officer, somebody that's seen somebody kind of come and go for, the amount of time that you've been in title work, you know, there's a lot of agents, a lot of competition. How does somebody, not just in real estate, but how does somebody stick out, at least from your perspective, and the people that you've come across that have stuck out? What have you seen that's good about them and what
In
they
those
do?
people. Somebody who's committed
Yeah,
and true to their word. I kind of look for the same that I'm trying to offer to people in return. So that again, it's partnership. I believe in reciprocity, and I believe in having equal skin in the game because when you don't, it just falls apart. It doesn't work. So when I see
yeah,
that I have true commitment, then it's just a beautiful thing.
yeah. So it's in essence, you're basically saying reciprocation.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, the same article, the same section in Google that I was searching, I also did see this stat too, which I'm going to kind of put on the screen real quick. Um, I typed in, why do most real estate agents fail? And this was the answer. Most real estate agents fail in their first year in large part because they simply don't believe that they can succeed. This is a
Hmm.
lack of belief, a high attrition rate, and they see that reinforce leads them to stop doing the things they need to do to be successful. Um, do you see that? Do you follow that? Do you kind of see where I guess that article is coming from? Um,
Yeah, actually, especially with the newer agents, we do see a lot because, well, and you were a new agent once, Robert, so you can probably
Way back in the day.
resonate and understand it. But, you know, when an agent starts his career path, they get so many shiny things thrown in front of them. I mean, it's like you're so many getting things, and this is the newest, latest, hottest thing. This is going to work. This is going to give you success, and that's what people will like that are in my type of role, whether it's business development, whether it's a loan officer, whether it's any kind of ancillary, role for real estate. They're going to do and say and throw at an agent, a new agent, what they think is going to get their attention and bring them in. However, as soon as that doesn't work, the agent will get frustrated and try it somewhere else, and then it doesn't work there, so then they just give up. I mean, I've seen that happen time and again. And I'm the kind of person where if I commit to somebody in a partnership, in a business partnership, I'm going to follow through with them until we
Yeah,
make things, to make things happen. Sometimes, when I first started, if an agent went away, I was thinking, oh, they must not have liked me because I am a people pleaser. So I do want to make everybody happy. I know that I can't, but I especially early in my career, I tried doing that. If I didn't hear from somebody, I thought, okay, they just didn't like me. They probably moved on to somebody else. Come to find out later, they gave up because they were thrown so many things and it just wasn't what it was cracked up to be. And it's unfortunate, but it's also fortunate because then we can weed out through those people that shouldn't be in this industry to begin with. Because if you don't have a tough skin to say, okay, that didn't work, I'm going to try this, or I'm going to go back to the basics, and I'm just going to really, make those phone calls and reach out to people and reach my organic database instead of going after all these leads that these business partners are promising me that I'm going to make all this money. Then they might find trying again. Eventually, they'll get there. But I think what happens is our very instant gratification society doesn't allow that to happen, especially for our younger, newer agents.
Well, and they're needy that way. I mean, I was completely needy my first year too. I remember somebody coming approaching me saying they have a new system. It's latest and greatest. Haven't told anybody
Exactly.
what they're telling me. They haven't told anybody. 1,000 new leads a year, and you should log on this program. This is the cost of it. And of course, my first year, I'm like, oh yeah, who would be denying this? And then
Right.
you come to find out, it's really not as what you were sold it to be. And you do get that. You get inundated with that constantly as a new agent.
Yeah.
But you highlight relationships, and so and I did want to highlight that too during this call was our relationship. Again, it started off, for me in a mediocre place because I didn't know how to manage this new role, manage this new career, new business, and I was outsourcing and trying to find out. It was almost like I was straggling along, just pulling everything I can. And then you get to a place where you realize that relationships are ultimately important, and you're an example of that. How relationships for you been and developed into your career?
Um, what I've learned is, again, I'm a people pleaser. So
Yeah.
and I think most of us that are in sales and relationship building are that way. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't be doing this. Um, but what I learned early on is the best thing for me to do is just be my true to myself first so that I could be true to my people. So I learn what I have to learn. I raise my value as much as I can when I can, and then I share it with my folks the most authentically and
Yeah.
transparently that I can. And I think you and I have had personal conversations at lunch about it. I think people can usually read through that when it's genuine and when it's not. And I find that because I do that, the people that gravitate towards me or that I gravitate towards are like minded in that
Yeah.
sense. And that's not everybody. That's a percentage. I would say maybe 25 to 30% of the people are authentic and true and genuine and speak their truth and want to share their truth and want to really truly help and serve the community. And when you find that like-minded individual that you can develop that partnership with, it's magic. And so it's like, why run after everybody that doesn't fit that 30% or what have you,
Yeah.
if you can build those deeper, more meaningful partnerships with people who do think that way. And that's who I prefer to work with. And that's why I'm here with you today.
Oh, well, thank you. So the interesting part is like right now we're in the middle of trying to create a campaign. So I recently did some home sales and you drafted some letters and the conversation's always been tied around that concept of how does this help somebody else? How can we connect with people in a throwaway society? Because anybody that gets that letter or a letter, a postcard, sometimes it catches attention. Sometimes it's like, oh, well, whatever. You kind of
Right.
pass it away. And if somebody is reading that letter, that the ones we're kind of doing now, the conversations again have been centered around how does this help somebody? How does this connect with somebody? And it's not so much that I'm really trying to sell a house, but you have to have a purpose. And so that purpose has always been a relationship for me. And that's why, I chose, you as a title rep and everything that you do and everything that you've assisted me with has kind of taken on that mantra, that same thing that I've kind of taken into account as being very important. And I guess from your perspective, how long did it take to kind of get to that point where you stop listening to all the crap you basically get and start really focusing on how to genuinely help? Because it is tough, when you need, a paycheck, when you need to pay for food on the table. At what point, or at least, can you suggest somebody to get to that point where they feel like themselves that they can finally give?
I really believe in feedback and asking for feedback. And I think that's so critical in our industry and surveying and asking people to complete a survey for you to tell you how you're doing. I don't do that as consistently as I'd like, but I really believe it's pertinent to ask, how am I doing? How was your experience? Did this feel good for you? It felt good for me. How did it feel for you? Because if you don't gauge, then how do you ever know? And I think it's so important in any kind of service industry to know how you're doing at all times, because you might be doing well for what's relevant now, and things could change, and you might have to tweak your approach. And without doing that constant feedback or that surveying, asking for it, you just don't know. So I really think it's important. And you can't have that dialogue or that comfort level unless you really invest the time to develop a relationship. So if you're, what I find in our industry and in a lot of service industries, it's there's either relationship or there's transaction. If you're transactional, you're just boom, 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 boom. I don't really care about you. I just need you. You're one of my numbers. You're part of my productivity. I need to get to X number. But if you take the time to say, Robert, I really want to know who you are, how you want to come across to your people, why that's important to you, and what can I do to help you get there? I'm here to serve you. How can help me help you? And if you don't do that, then you cannot be successful. You can't be. Or you can be, but you're going to be constantly chasing. And there's nothing like having those solid relationships with partners that you're not here for just today, you're here for the long term.
Yeah, and I do believe in that. And again, you really have to have that mindset, and it really has to shift into a giving mindset. As we come to the end of our segment here, I do have to share a couple things.
It's already been 15 minutes.
It's been 17 minutes.
Oh my God.
So this
That's
is
why
just
you're having fun.
this is a picture of me and Miss Brandenburg back in the Morales Business Network days. Again, just a long-standing partner. Just a full disclosure. So we let everybody know, hey, we've been hanging out for a while. And again, because of that, you've gone on this journey with me. This whole relationship, I call it relationship marketing, has really kind of encompassed my life and the trajectory in my business that I am today. And that's why that business developed. But knowing that you need to change, we created the CEO network, so that the Morales Business Network eventually evolved into our CEO network today. And then just for some fun, this was us the Christmas. So again,
that was fun.
with Miss Jeffrey Velasco, we can say. But again, just a kind-hearted, genuine person. So what I want to do before we say goodbye temporarily, because we are coming back for our group session, is that I want to say thank you for everything that you've done in the onset of this career and kind of where I'm at now. And there's a lot of things that I owe to everything I've explored, and I appreciate the journey you've been on with me since that beginning piece of that. And again, I didn't realize how important you were at the beginning, but I sure as heck do realize it now.
Aw,
So,
thank you. I feel the exact same, Robert. Thank you so much. That's really kind of you to say.
So I'm going to post one more picture. So as you agents are watching out there,
I have to admit, I get a little nervous right before. Oh, okay.
So it's nothing crazy. So if you want to contact Maria Brandenburg here at Great American Title, she is the business development manager. Contact her on her cell phone, 602-505-6922, or at mbrandenburg@azgat.com. Is there any last words on your segment that you would like to share, Ms. Brandenburg?
I just want to say to everybody out there, just keep staying safe and be healthy and be cautious. I didn't really want to go in this direction, but we're talking about relationships. There's an agent that I've had a pretty good relationship, friendship for the past 7 years, but also back when I was in property and casualty. And it's Dean Benigno with the Realty Executives. We just learned he passed away.
Oh,
It was
sorry.
very sudden. It was just just last week he was posting his road trip on Facebook. It's starting, sorry to get a little somber, but it's feeling like this whole situation is getting closer to home. And we can only do so much. We can only control what we can control. And I'm just asking everybody to be kind to themselves and careful and healthy and safe, but also think about everybody else when you're out there. It's not just you. We're all in this together. And we just need to care about one another more than ever. So that's not even related to marketing, but it's very relevant right now, and it's very heavy on my mind. So, but I do appreciate the opportunity, Robert. I love working with you. It's been great to get to know you too, Darlene. I'm excited about your segment as well, and I have to, of course, give props to Violet out there too, because she's been great. She's been a good director out there.
She keeps everybody in line.
She kept me in line.
So hang out, Miss Maria Brandenburg.
I will.
This is a video scene, but I felt compelled to play it here. So
okay.
you get subject to your own words.
As an entrepreneur, I am using my resources that I have available to me through my corporation, but I'm doing that so that I can establish my own personal goals and help other people accomplish theirs. I really believe in unity and that we really are all one. And I think it's important for all of us to bridge that gap. Unless you get out of your comfort zone, if you don't experience those outside resources, you never really get to grow and know that we are all really just one. Great American Title is the only company that actually has a community outreach program. Because I am such a proponent of community nonprofit organizations, that's what pushed me off the fence and made me choose this company. I always incorporated networking into my scope of business so that I could meet other like-minded professionals that I could do business with. My name is Maria Brandenburg, and this is our CEO Network. Robert, you can do this.
Thank you, Ms.
Yeah,
Maria
what she
Brandenburg. And so as we go on, if you like what you like, please hit those little heart emojis because we'd love the support. If you're watching this again on the replay, hit the little wow emoji just to check in with us. If you have any comments or questions, go ahead and add those in the comment section below, and we'll get to those questions as we go along. RCO Network. So we're here to promote people. This next guest, I will say she's been a long-term member, and she's been coming to our physical events, in-person events for a while now. And she's touched, I think, just about every heart that she comes across, just because of her experience and the person who she is. And you may or may not know her with or without her hat. But I'm going to go ahead and do her intro. She has had over 42 years of public relations, campaign, fundraising, and marketing experience. She has been the field and volunteer director for the Harvey Milk in 1977 in the city of San Francisco, worked on campaigns for Senator Alan Cranston and Governor Jerry Brown of California, has been a production manager for Paramount and ABC Studios, fundraising for notable celebrities such as Dick Clark. In 2018, she was elected as District 24's Phoenix Downtown Constable. She's got a gun, folks. In 2009, she founded her current business, Future Leaders Consulting. Please welcome Miss Darlene Martinez. Yeah, we gotta.
Hi, Robert. It's so great to be here, and I'm very honored and privileged that you asked me to come on. I'm wearing my hat first because I want people to know who I am. Because it's funny, when people see me out in town and I don't have my hat on for whatever reason, maybe it's on the table or maybe it's my day off and I've got a different hat on, they don't know who I am. So I'm wearing my hat so people know it's really Darlene Martinez. But for this, I want people to know that I wear many hats, and that is one of the hats that I wear. But as a CEO and owner of Future Leaders Consulting, the hat I wear is the understanding that I started the business because I wanted to empower my communities and to bring people together and to help people understand what's important in their lives and what affects their lives locally more than internationally. So it has been quite a journey. I've got like over 42 years of experience, but my company's been around for 11 years now.
It's been 11 years already?
It has been
Yeah,
2009. So
I did want to share one thing. Like I said, she wears many hats, and she has a gun too. So just be careful out there. She is a constable. So don't mess with Darlene, especially when the hat's on. But no, so we invited you here, Miss Martinez, or I don't Darlene better.
Darlene is
I
mine.
like being formal. We invited you here because you do have a unique connection with people. I mean, you've been dealing with people for a number of years, and I don't mean dealing, but connecting with people, and that within itself is marketing. And what I hope to draw from these conversations, from Maria, from yourself, is that there is a huge people component. And if you don't know people, if you don't know yourself, then you're missing out on a tremendous marketing campaign that is well beyond, prints and social media and whatever else people try to sell you on.
Well, one of the things I'm going to say that's what it goes right to what you're saying is I am always astonished that when I meet another person, they say, "Oh, I knew you from this person and this person and this person." So they've met me before they even met me because they knew me through these other people. And I don't think people, this whole thing of 6 degrees of separation is so real because I see it all the time. It really is a small world. And our networks and who we build and who we speak to and how we communicate is everything.
And one of the mistakes I think, and you can probably chime in with this too, is that people commonly just dismiss somebody they don't feel as of value. If they don't feel that they're going to make money off of them, if they feel like they're not going to get anything in the immediate sense, it's like, well, they're just a nobody. They're not a owner. They're not a CEO. They work as a store clerk at Walgreens. They don't really have value. We so easily dismiss that, and then when they do that, like in my case, that store clerk ends up buying a house. All of a sudden, like, wow, they get a lot of value. Um, but we do that, and so I've learned, and you really have to change that mindset. Like I said, you can chime in, and not just dismissing anybody. And
Well,
it goes
you never
back to that.
know. Well, you never know who that store clerk is. I used to be a Walgreens manager.
Oh, you did? No.
I was.
I better
And
not talk crap
I
about
helped a lot of
it.
people when I was a manager. As a matter of fact, I even got a client. His name was Michael Johnson. He was running for city council, and he saw me at Walgreens and said, "Oh, I didn't know. I thought you were doing other things." I said, "No, right now I've got my mother staying with me. My mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and so I brought her in to live with me in the last 5 years of her
Yeah.
life. So I actually quit the other job I had and decided to go work at a Walgreens so that I could be close to my mother and help her get through all of this going on with her life. And I got to see her every day, but it meant that I had to be a Walgreens manager, and so you never know who you're speaking to and at what level they will be or what they will turn out to be.
Yeah, and one thing that to tie back into conversation Maria we just had, um, when it comes to marketing, especially in a very saturated market. So, you in your business, we'll talk about that too, helping people campaigning and getting the word out there. One of the most significant people out there that you've assisted, and I think is well recognized because of the movie, is Harvey Milk. Um, you know, and if there was a person to point to, let me post this up real quick. If there was a person to point to as far as like facing adversity on a consistent basis, somebody like him, because he was openly gay and he was running for senator, is that or Congress
Supervisor.
So in a high profile political position, he had everything against him. And the translation, the information, the marketing piece of that is how do we connect that person who has value that's beyond just the superficial piece or what people see him as. How do we market somebody that is beyond what people just superficially see? And again, what I want to highlight is your experience, with that campaign and with that adversity. Do you want to kind of describe a little bit of what that was?
Back then I was what we called one of the ragtag kids. I was 18 and I was young and coming into it and I had some friends. I'd been beaten up a couple of times in school and college actually, and I had some friends of mine who lived in San Francisco, and they said to me, "Hey, you've got to come meet this guy. He's standing on a soapbox. I kid you not, a real soapbox. He says it's going to change the world. You got to come down here and meet him." And at the time, I was not political at all. So I packed up my things. I drove San Francisco, and I walked into that camera shop, and I had to wait for, I don't know, 4 hours or so to meet Harvey because he wasn't there. He was running around. But when he got there, he spent 8 hours talking to me, just wanting to know everything about my life, or why I came, or what was I doing, or how was I treated in the world. And, I grew up in a world where the word lesbian was a very, very bad word. So you never said anything like that. So being openly gay was a very taboo thing. And so for Harvey to want to throw all that caution to the wind and want to get a position, which was unheard of, because there was no one, this is the first openly gay person ever to be elected into an office position. And to do that as himself was monumental. So I fell in love with the guy because he had a genuine heart for everyone, not just the politics or wanting to change things. He cared about the people and about the city. And I think that's what comes through with people. And that's why when I started, it's one of the reasons why I decided to run. My mother, the year before she passed away, told me that I needed to go do what I do for myself and not for others. And I was asked to run. So that following year, after she passed away, I decided, somebody had mentioned something about Harvey Milk in a comment. And Harvey told me that before we left and before he was shot, that I needed to do this for myself because I'm good at it. And when my mother said that to me, it just rang true. And I decided, you know what? Someone asked me to run. I felt it was my duty, and I decided I was going to do it because I always said I was a kingmaker, never going to be part of the royalty, but I wanted to be somebody who made a difference in my community. I mean, being a constable is not what people think it is. It is a very hard job. You have to have tons of relationships with people because your biggest weapon is not your gun. It's your brains and it's your mouth. It's how you relate to people, how you treat them, and it's how you come off to make sure that everybody, it's a win-win for everyone. And that's not an easy thing to do with some of the things that we have to serve as sworn officers, because we are sworn officers of the court.
Yeah, and that's one thing I did. I was a child abuse investigator at one point. I was actually a supervisor over a unit. And that was one of the comments and suggestions I always gave to my staff is you don't walk in these homes with guns. You don't walk in these homes with attitudes. You walk in there with your mouth, and what you say can get you more into trouble than what you actually do. And in facing these challenges, in talking from a marketing perspective, there's always challenges in the things that adversity that we face. Those discussions about how do you portray somebody with these, I guess, superficial kind of labels, maybe surface labels. How do you market somebody to get past those things, and how do you have people connect with somebody to get kind of past what they believe is a person?
Well, truly the magic is what it is you're trying. What message are you trying to get out?
Yeah.
Is it the person? Is it what the person believes? Is it what the person wants to accomplish? Those are the things that you market. It's what you put out there. I'm not going to get into the heavy political things of it all, the politics going on right now. But in the politics, when I meet a candidate, I don't take every candidate on either. I take the candidate on that I believe wants to make a difference, has the true value of understanding what it is that is different, and has a message that is real and rings from their heart. Really, the best candidates are the ones who have a heart and they speak from the heart. I know I brought Jeannie Castine to you because I work with Jeannie. Jeannie is an amazing candidate, mostly because she speaks from the heart, and what she wants to accomplish and change for the Maricopa County School Superintendents is from the heart. She is a mom. She understands. She's a teacher. She understands. That's what it's about. It's what people want to portray and get out there, but it has to be real, because when it isn't real, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, and that's what
all you want, but.
And that's what I go back to, our network and, people that we come across as far as assisting with marketing and stuff. I try to tell them, you just go out there. It doesn't matter if you screw up what you say, as long as it's real to you. You can stumble on the words and people will see that. But I think people genuinely connect with those frustrations. People genuinely connect with the nuances and the mistakes more than they really do the perfection piece of that.
Well, it's just like when I met Maria and when I met you, same thing. Yeah. I felt that you both spoke from your heart. When I first met you, Robert, the first thing that came out to me was you really wanted to make a difference with getting people together, having a networking group so that people could connect with their different businesses and learn each other. And I've got so many little tidbits of information and things I used with my company to grow and to understand things. Same thing with when I met Maria. I felt at home. I knew that I could talk to her. I was even telling her, I want to go find out who's got my title because I want to go to Great America. I mean, it's about those relationships you build. And I think I was telling her that, I want to even change my insurance and, to go with somebody who I trust or what it is with, whether it's your car, your house, whatever. But it is about relationships. And that's one of the great things I loved about you, Robert, when I met you, is that you're all about the relationships. It isn't about the money. It's about the relationships. And in the world today, it's all we have.
Yeah, and that's a challenge. It was a challenge for me when I first started my real estate career. Is like, how do I show people what I can do when I don't have a whole lot of experience doing it? How can I show my value? And the innards that I really had to evaluate is like, well, what value am I putting out there? I want stuff, but what value am I giving back? And so I think in your business that you've come across, especially running campaigns, and I see that with what you're trying to do with Janine and some of the other campaign people that you're helping. But your business is primarily dealing with people, connecting people with people.
And I've worked with nonprofits as well,
Yeah.
Because that's my pleasure. I've worked with many different profits, but the last few were more about the communities. And the Tiger Foundation is all about gardens and growing gardens and creating them within the city. And it's all totally nonprofit. But, they don't understand sometimes how to market themselves so that people can see what they have to offer and help. Because they don't get enough money to help, so they need to get that help. Also, as a constable, I'm not just a constable doing evictions. I actually belong to the Arizona Housing Coalition,
Yeah.
And I go to their meetings and I gather all this information. And one of my associate constables, Karen Lathan, we got together, went to a meeting up in Flagstaff, got this huge amount of information, all free resources for people that are either going to be homeless or don't have money or have animals or need food or a variety of things or housing. And we created those lists. So if somebody is getting evicted and there's nothing we can do about it because it's changed, about COVID, it's changed all that, of course. But if that is happening, they have resources. So we're not just putting them out there with nothing or nowhere to go. They have an understanding of what they could do. So.
No, and I appreciate that too. And as we come, closer to the end of your segment, yes, the whole 20 minutes is about to be up. I do want to talk about your business too.
It goes so fast.
Yeah, and your business is again about people relationships, but helping on campaigns. And this is your contact information, right? Do you want to talk a little bit about again the specifics of what you're doing regarding your business?
Well, right now, and my big thing is, like I said, I work with nonprofits, but campaigns are a huge part of what I do. I'm working with Kathleen Honey right now. She's running for Arizona State House of Representatives in LD22, which is like Glendale and Surprise, Peoria, Sun City West, all that kind of thing. I'm also helping Jeannie Castine. She's running for Maricopa County School Superintendent. So if you have a chance, please vote for these people. If you have a chance, go to their websites. But for me, my website is, I'm doing construction as well.
Let me put that back up.
I want to change it, so I'm revamping it. But, you can always reach me by my email, which is darleneflc@gmail. And I'll be happy to answer any questions. I mentor kids. I started the Future Leaders Consulting little program for kids to be able to get credit in high school and in college, to be able to work on campaigns and get credit for it at the same time.
Awesome. And again, as we come to kind of the end of your segment, is there any advice that you would kind of give these new entrepreneurs, new people, even real estate agents as they come into the market? Is there anything you can tell them off the bat on how to connect with people?
Well, I'm going to say what Maria also mentioned. It's about what you love, and it's about doing something that you care about. Because if it's something you care about and it's something you love, failure is part of it. When you fail, you get back up and you go back out. I've always thought about being a real estate agent, to be honest.
Oh boy, more companies.
But it's about getting back up. That's what it really is. doing something you love and getting back up. When you fail, it's not a bad thing. You learn from it, you move on, and you get back up. So get out there, do something you love, something you care about, and do good for others. The community is all about you. When you're helping your community, you're helping yourself and your family.
And if I can go off of that too, I think the one thing that I would be able to advise people on is just go out there and try. If it's on your mind, follow your spirit and just try it. If it's a complete failure, then maybe not do it again. But I think once you feel a little bit more comfortable, you'll be able to pursue that. But,
That's what's the great part about America. We live in the greatest country where we can go out, create something out of nothing, and do great things.
That's awesome. Yes. And so as we come to the end of our second segment, we're going to be bringing everybody back together because that's what we do as far as relationship. We do have another video to play as we take another commercial break. So Ms. Martinez, hang on there. We're going to be bringing on Ms. Maria in just a few seconds.
I have a gift, and it's a healing gift to help others laugh and go through their lives, and I just want to share that. I would love to have just a really healthy relationship with everybody and be the person that I am in helping others grow. If you're a true entrepreneur, you have the spirit that's going to carry through, and they're self-motivating and reliant upon themselves for everything. Suburban is a company that hangs its hat on its reputation. We're all about that handshake and a smile and the pat on the back. I believe in networking so you can meet other like-minded people and trade business secrets and help each other grow. My name is Jeffrey Wasaklo, and I'm the marketing director for Suburban Mortgage. And this is our CEO network. I did think you would forget about that.
Oh, and I won't even mention. I won't even mention what that was all about. But
I'm sure it was good and juicy.
So, oh, absolutely. And with Jeffrey, you would know.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're at the last segment of our show today. We're going to bring everybody back, and again, kind of have some general questions and some back and forth regarding some marketing techniques and things that come across our path. So, hello, Miss Darlene, Miss Maria, back all together in one show. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about that you, either one of you, were inspired by what the other person said? Sort of to begin.
I think, I think it goes back to, here we have three like-minded people on the screen, on our screens all together. And I think it's just an amazing thing that we all kind of met through Robert, and it's really cool. I didn't know the thing about Harvey Milk. That is so super cool, Darlene. How amazing is that?
Thank you.
So I just love the part about getting to know each other and know the depth of each individual and hear each other's story. And it just makes it easier for me to go out and talk about my constable here. Also to talk about our CEO network. It's just, the passion that we all share. It's just magic.
Darlene is running, so
well, it is about the connections. Like you said, we met through Robert, but when I met you at one of the CEO networking events, Maria, I thought you were amazing, and I did discover something called Camcard. So I take pictures of people's cards now, and automatically goes into my phone. Back then, I was collecting cards, but this is an amazing app that you can use so that you collect, people. So funny, I just went and got a new phone the other day, and the guy just said, "Holy cow! I've never met anybody with this many contacts in their phone."
Oh, wow!
I told him it's about connecting.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if the audience out there would like to comment and ask questions, you can go and do that now at the comment section below and keep hitting those hearts because we appreciate the support. So the one thing I wanted to bring up, and this is kind of an open question for whoever wants to answer, is about confidence. One of the things that I was told when I first started this new career was that you have to be on Facebook, you have to do social media, you have to take pictures, put yourself out, do all this. And I will tell you, I did not have any confidence. I still felt, and if you watched earlier shows and know anything about me, how insecure I was regarding my weight at the time and all the other things that was going on. So the last thing I want to do is get in front of a camera and be like, "Hey, look at me, look at me on Facebook." The one thing, like I said, is the confidence piece. And what I hear back from all these entrepreneurs and people in small businesses, like, well, I got to lose a little bit of weight, or oh, let me get some makeup on. Can we do it tomorrow because I'm not feeling good today. Do you need abs? Do you need that rock hard body? Do you need to be lifting, 250 pounds and stuff to market yourself? That's a question.
Oh, is that a question?
Yes.
Well, if that was true, then I've got some work to do myself.
I got pictures for you running. You look pretty good.
If I may, I'll go ahead and respond. Honestly, I think what people want to see is not how skinny you are, how rich you are, what kind of car you drive, what kind of house you live in, that you live in Scottsdale. They don't want to know all that. They want to know your true, genuine self. And I think that's what resonates with people, especially on social media. And oh my God, how relevant is this right now?
Yes.
If I didn't know any better, I would think social media was developed for COVID, because now we can't see anybody. And really the only way we can is through Zoom, is through Facebook, is through Instagram, is through TikTok, through Snapchat, all the social media vehicles out there. So to me, what I've learned, and it's been a journey for me too, Robert, because believe me, my journey was about posting, memes and,
Some are funny.
positive things, which I still do a lot of that. But I find that I get so much more engagement when I reach out through my phone or through my computer and say, oh my gosh, this is on my mind. And then, of course, if you put a video or a photo with it, then it's even more engaging. And people want to see you out there, whether you gained the COVID-19 or whether you didn't, and that's what they're calling it, the freshman COVID-19. But that's not important. What's important is to be heard, and to be heard in your most truest voice.
And how's your six pack, Darlene?
And I agree. I agree with that 100%. Because it is who you are, and that's what people engage in. I know the biggest thing that I get most people engaged with when I'm on social media is my videos. When I do little short videos, and the person who really introduced me to that, I'm going to give her kudos tonight, is Gabby Chieres, who's from Desodia social media. She is amazing. She's helped me create and understand and work on my social media. I want to give a shout out to my friend Jimmy Munoz Jr., who started helping me understand it before I met Gabby. So when I met Gabby, I wasn't so ignorant. Social media is really an amazing tool for people to use, because that's what it is. It's a tool. And if you can stay positive and go out there and just speak your mind, but be confident, you can do anything.
Well, and the tricky part about social media that I've come across too is that, I have to sell houses to live, to put food in my face. But how do you do that? How do you put a product or service in front of somebody without sounding cheap and being like, hey, use me. Hey, I'm your next realtor, or whatever you're selling, whatever you're doing. How do you do that but portray yourself in a genuine way? Do you have any skills or techniques or things that you could suggest, either one of you guys?
Well, I've been seeing a lot of different things. One of the things I've seen with people doing as realtors is they've been doing little home tours and then putting them up on their page and saying, hey, I just came across this great place, and if you like it, let me know. And, a little small tour, not very long. That's the key too. One thing Gabby showed me is that when they're like a minute or less, people will engage. When they're too long, it's just like the writing. When it's too much, people don't engage. They just read a little bit and click off and move on. But
they're looking for those abs, Darlene.
You got it. How about you?
I got to work on my abs.
Yeah, I agree. I think short is sweet, but I also think depth and your story is the way to go. So one of the things that Robert and I are working on are on these letters that we're doing to certain communities to let them know, hey, I'm here to serve you, and this is what I do. And part of that is telling your story in a few sentences, whether it's in writing or on social media. Hey guys, this house was a historical house. Let me tell you about the original owners, blah blah blah. But now we've got this family of people with this child who is getting ready to start school, and we need a room for her school. We need a room for an office for mom and dad. When you tell that story and you paint that picture, and if you can do it in 30 to 60 seconds, fantastic. And that's what gets people's attention and their buy-in, and their, wow, this person really cares about this family and making sure that they're in this home. And I think that's what makes the difference. But when you're that guy that said, hey guys, I just sold this house for $599,000 and I could be your agent too. No, nobody cares about that. They care about the story, about the people that you're helping and serving.
So I don't want to see my abs.
Your abs help too. Yeah.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
No, so in my experience too, I felt like in a way you kind of also have to be short, because that's what social media is. It's short and to the point.
Concise,
And if you don't capture somebody's attention in the immediate 3 seconds, they kind of go off to the next thing. But part of marketing, and again, just chime in with whatever you need to, part of marketing that I've discovered is consistency in message and frequency, that you're sharing that and continue that message over and over again. But it has to be consistent, because if you're jumping from one thing to another, people kind of lose that in the middle.
Yeah,
they do.
And in a way, you kind of have to create a character online in a sense, because you want it to be short and to the point. You want to be like for me, I think a lot of people identify me as the Yoda guy who does marketing and plays music. And so part of that, I have to kind of keep that going in a way, and continually to kind of portray that, like, hey, this is what I'm involved in, so that kind of people kind of categorize you. And I think that's just the human quality that we have, so that it makes it quick and easy. It's like, oh, it's that guy,
Right.
and you sure don't want to be the guy that's like, oh my God, he's the one selling the cars, and oh, that's the guy selling the shirts.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like commercials, a lot of commercials are going to more pictures and then a small video and just telling the story.
Yeah, to that example, I mean, like Lincoln cars. What's his name?
Matthew McConaughey.
Oh yeah, she liked the abs.
We don't get to see his abs, though, and I know he has nice ones, but he's always, anyway. I'm sorry, I digress.
So it goes back to who Matthew McConaughey is, right? It goes back to the idea. I think the Lincoln Lawyer is kind of what solidified that kind of perception of who he is. I mean, I honestly don't know who he is, but I just know him as the guy that works out on the beach, was the guy in Lincoln Lawyer, and drives the Lincoln car, and so we kind of quickly categorize that. But the emotional connotation behind who he is really what connects you to the car, not so much the car. I mean, how many cars do you see a day?
Right, true.
See, that's marketing in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So
it is familiarity and understanding and putting those pieces all together. That's marketing.
So have you guys had any experiences with that too, like in creating that kind of marketing aspect of those campaigns, or what you do in your businesses today?
Well, I know right now I just found out about TikTok, so it's something new for me. So I'm creating some new things right now with TikTok, and getting a bunch of different people involved to create it. And I think it's going to be phenomenal, because there's so many people that are iconic that are coming on, that people are just going to play it over and over and over and share it. That's the other part of it, is sharing. People sharing what you like and or what they see with what you produce, and sharing it with their friends, and they share with their friends. Just like this whole thing with music, people doing those vocals in front of a Facebook Live, and wow, some of these people are incredible.
Yeah, it's all about the lip syncing. Not your real voice, just the lip syncing, but make it look like you're really But no, I agree with that. It's definitely. We also have IGTV. IGTV is another one. It's a great one, because Instagram is becoming the most popular social media medium at this point. And so IGTV is a way to have a video for longer than a minute. So if you have something with some content to say, you want to do a little dancing, but you also want to throw in some pictures and some video, it's perfect for that. So it kind of all encompassing of all that.
We're in a new world of digital.
Yeah,
I mean,
and to highlight all that, I mean, the thing you have to keep in mind that Facebook is always changing. Instagram's always changing. They're always evolving. I mean, the My Stories were only started, about 6-9 months ago.
right?
And now it's just a common thing. People get used to it. So part of marketing too is not to remain stagnant. It's always, and I think when you're connecting with people, and again, my experience, and you guys can share your own, but connecting with people has always got to be in reinventing yourself. What value can you find within yourself to show, like, hey, look what I just learned, and look what I can share. Look at what the value I have now. Look what I can do for you beyond just trying to sell you something.
You have to be very flowy in this environment. You have to go with the flow because things change very quickly. And I mean, even, again, to make reference of the COVID environment that we're in right now, that's changed so much of everyday life. People are using Zoom that have never used Zoom before. Robert, you and I were used to using Zoom because we were already doing some Zoom meetings and some Zoom classes, but not to the extent that we're doing them now. And for a long time, people were like, nope, I'm not going to even be on video. It's just going to be my name up on the screen. But now they know to be relevant, you have to be visible. This is the way you meet people now. This is the way you're meeting with people, with groups of people. You're in the classroom this way. You're on, these social networks this way. So right now we're going with this time. And I'm sure in the background, while we don't even know what's going on, the latest, newest Zoom monopoly, not Zoom, is in the works. So we just have to be very fluid and be ready to go with that flow.
Exactly. It's all about change. The world changes constantly. We change constantly. Marketing changes constantly. It's about keeping up with the flow. And if you need to be willing to adapt and learn. If you're willing to adapt and learn, you can accomplish anything. I don't care what.
That is so awesome. So we're coming to the near end of our show, and I always wish there was more time for a lot of these things and what we're doing. I do have to mention us as a network and what we're here to do. So I'm going to take a small, short commercial here. If you want to market your business here with us at Our CEO Network, we create your marketing videos, offer you social media management support, and highlight you at our market events. Through the power of Desodia and Insight Production, Our CEO Network, instant messages here on Facebook at Our CEO Network. For details about becoming a sponsor, marketing opportunities, go to ourceonetwork.com and get more information regarding, how to market and your business. So coming to the end, I do want to say I appreciate you guys, and I want to give at least 30-second clip to both you guys. Maria, you can go first. I'm going to go ahead and put your contact information just so that people, again, can connect with you. Any last words that you want to say, and then I'll shoot it to Darlene.
Go ahead, Maria. Your information's there first.
Okay, sure. Again, Great American Title, great company, Maria Brandenburg. Love to work with agents and lenders, helping you achieve your marketing goals to reach more people and to help you sell real estate and loans. But again, I'm all about the partnership. So I'm here to serve you and introduce you to some great professionals in our industry. And I'd love to be that partner to you. So reach out. And Brandenburg at azgat.com, 602-505-6922.
Good job.
Yeah, she's good.
Thanks.
Miss Darlene, any last words of?
Yes, if you want to contact me, it's my email, which is darleneflc@gmail. Very easy. So it's F for future, L like leader, C for consulting @gmail.com. My number is 602-405-9066. I'm here to help my communities in any way I can. If you want to get elected to something, call me. I can help you with every aspect of it. If you have a nonprofit that you want to market and try to do fundraising, I'm amazing at fundraising. I love doing that, and I love helping my community. And I want to thank you, Robert, for having this program, having me on the program. Maria, it's been amazing to be with you on this program. I think you're amazing in what you do and how you do it, and I'm honored to be in the presence of you too. I want to thank you and thank the show.
Well,
Thank you so
guys.
much. Absolutely, I agree.
So I will be leaving with this, our CEO network. And this is a Maria Brandenburg meme, talking about memes.
Uh-oh.
It caught me, it caught my attention. And so again, I wanted to end the show with this. Connected with it immediately. So the meme was, let go. Trust the process, allow the universe to fulfill its plan for you. She has your back. So thank you everybody for joining us here.
Thanks, Robert.
That's awesome. We're in this together. Remember that.
Yes,
Absolutely.
we are.
So thank you everybody. I appreciate you guys and have a good one. We'll catch you guys.
Awesome.